we're under. Michigan Republican Representative Thaddeus McCotter is here to make the case. Congressman McCotter, it's a pleasure. Welcome to Freedom Watch.
Thanks for having me on, Your Judginess.
Aren't both parties to blame, Republicans and Democrats in the White House and in the Congress, for bringing us this debt of $14.3 trillion? Ronald Reagan borrowed money. Bill Clinton borrowed money. Both presidents, George Bush, borrowed money. No one's borrowed to the extent that Barack Obama has. And all this was facilitated, not by you, but by other Republicans and Democrats in the Congress. What do you say about that?
Well, I think it's absolutely right. We've all acknowledged the mistakes of the past by both parties, and I think you're right, Judge, to go all the way back, especially through the reckless spending that started largely under FDR and continues through the Great Society and up to the present day. So I think everybody recognizes that. The beauty of it is now you have a new Congress. Every 2 years we have a peaceful revolution. The question is going forward. And when you start to see the budgets that are laid out by the Republicans and the absence of budgets that have been laid out by the Democrats in Congress and the one that's put forward by the administration, the question does become, for our future, is it a question of bankruptcy or prosperity?
All right. As you are speaking, we're showing clips of Speaker Boehner happily talking about the deal that was cut shortly before midnight on Friday evening. Should we really be happy about a $38 billion cut in a program that actually spends more this year than last year and still requires borrowing $1 trillion just to make ends meet? I mean, how is that a cause for joy?
Well, I voted against it late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and I'll vote against it again. But I think one of the things we have to remember is this is caused by Democratic intransigence. You have to remember, Speaker Boehner is walking into a room with Senator Reid, President Obama, and Vice President Biden serving coffee. That is a less than propitious setting for fiscal restraint.
But Speaker Boehner has a majority in the House of Representatives, of which you are one. And without the Republicans going along with it, none of this would happen. For example, will you, Congressman McCotter, vote to raise the debt ceiling, or will you say to the president, I'm not going to let you borrow anymore? $14.3 trillion is enough. Never mind borrowing, it's time to start paying that debt back.
We have to have the president agree to fundamental concrete reforms that make this the last time, or I will not do it. This has been going on too long, and too many people know that once you raise the limit on the credit card, what's going to happen is you're going to max out again.
Right.
In the final analysis, Judge, we have to get concrete reforms such as a balanced budget or reforms that implement some of what the House budget contains to start putting costs in place. It's going to be a long battle, a hard battle, but I believe House Republicans and Speaker Boehner are committed to that.
But this president is the closest thing to a socialist since FDR. He's not interested in fundamental reform on spending. He's looking for more ways to spend. He's going to tell us that tomorrow. In his version, taxes would go up, and that would give him more money to spend. Isn't the only thing that will restrain him, Congressman McCotter, his legal inability to borrow money and his legal compulsion to run the government just on the basis of the revenues that the government collects? Stated differently, isn't that the only thing that will work?
You have to make sure that a feral federal government doesn't rummage amok through taxpayers' pockets to fund its spending addiction. Right now, unfortunately, what we're hearing out of the White House is more of the same. Soak the rich, spend the bread. That was not a bad 70s disco album. It is unfortunately bad 70s policy put here in the 21st century.
Congressman Thaddeus McCotter, Republican of Michigan, thank you very much for joining us.